is your business mentor really in business, or is he a social media pretender?
How do I vet a good coach? Look at their balance sheet. Ask for a copy of a redacted balance sheet. Does this person have a real balance sheet? Do they actually have a website? Do they actually have a Facebook following? Do they actually try and promote positivity? Or is it just a click funnel? A real mentor gives you tools, a fake one sells you dependency. I tell people the first thing that I'm going to try to do is get you to a point where you want to fire me. Not because I'm not helping you move the needle, but because I've gotten you to a spot where you don't actually need me.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. If you're watching this or listening to this, or you're doing both, welcome to OGSR. This is your first time here. You've just found the best damn podcast you've ever heard or seen before, or even both in your whole life. We are in episode number 151 today. We're going to talk about real mentors and fake mentors coming up here just a little bit. But again, if it's your first time here, my name is Blair Armstrong of Team Armstrong Coldwell Banker. You can kind of see that behind me. I'm a global luxury specialist in the world of residential real estate, located here in the beautiful, beautiful Coachella Valley. Basically, where the Coachella Valley, what is the Coachella Valley? Palm Springs, Palm Desert, La Quinta, Indio, Rancho Mirage, Indian Wells, any of those cities. And if you've never heard of those before, got to be living underneath a rock, because everyone knows where we are. We are one of the golf meccas of the world. So hopefully you know where that is. Again, if you don't know where it is, all seriousness, just look up Palm Springs and go all the way east to Indio, even out to Coachella. That is the Coachella Valley. It's going to be a nice 85 degrees today. We get a slight breeze from the west, about 6 miles an hour. So it is gorgeous today. But on my left, possibly your right, possibly dead square in the middle right now, depending on how the editing comes out of this, is a good friend of mine for almost 30 years, and the other host of this show, not a co-host, but the other host of the show, Brent Wright of Brent Wright Incorporated, a man with many, many different hats, from payroll companies to body shops to detail shops, a financier of his wife's amazing wellness center located in Eugene, Oregon. And if you've never been there yet, check out Wright Wellness Center. I strongly encourage you, if you're out in that area, to go check it out. I think it might be something you've been looking for to do, what I call an alternative way to health, but a better way to health, because it's all encompassing, from weight training to far infrared treatment to cold plunges, to the list goes on. So if you've been hearing about this stuff and you want to check it out, it's right in the heart of Eugene, Oregon, at Wright Wellness Center. Another thing this guy does, he's a multiple property owner, buys houses, fixes them out, rents them. He is also part of a, what do I want to call it, venture capitalist group. They have purchased a company almost 2 years ago. Are we getting close to 2 years?
Year ago, May 1.
Year ago, May 1. Okay, so bustedtees.com. That's bustedtees, all one word.com. If you love novelty t-shirts, go check them out. Really cool stuff. And even if you're like, hey, well, they don't have this one and I want to send in a design, they can help you with that. So it's a really cool thing that they've got going on. And most of all, what we're actually going to talk today, an amazing, amazing business coach and personal coach. So if you're kind of stuck in a loop right now, it's business or personal, I'd basically tell me right now, go back, just press pause right now. This is going to be a really good episode. Press pause, go back, watch the other 150 episodes that we have out today, and see if this guy's a fit for you. I promise you, well, minus episode number 1, but I promise you, you'll find some golden nuggets in there. And that's really what we're going to hone in today is your mentor actually in business, or is he just a social media pretender? And we're going to get into that. But before we kind of peel back the onion today, because today you're going to be on the spotlight. Last week it was me. This week it's you. But how's the weather out in Eugene? What is going on up there? Do we have any updates on bustedtees.com?
Well, it is absolutely pouring today and was about 76 yesterday. And it's supposed to be 72, 73 on Sunday. So again, bipolar spring weather in Oregon. Of course, the chemtrails aren't helping anything. I don't want to go down that conspiracy theory road, but there were over 30 lines in the sky 2 days before it started just pouring. And it was beautiful. Right? Yeah.
It's kind of weird. I just thought the planes were just kind of telling each other where not to fly, just exhaust, man. There's nothing big here.
Well, exhaust, I tell people this, really look into it. Don't take my word for it. But, the exhaust that we all look up and see the exhaust dissipates in a matter of half hour, 20 minutes, and it's gone. These things stay around for days. And, you can definitely feel it. You get this kind of itching, burning in the back of your throat afterwards. It can't be good. Whatever it is, it can't be good.
Right.
So look it up. Follow along.
It's no longer conspiracy. It is out there. Everyone is admitted to it. Mm-hmm. We've got to be better of making that happen. I see it here all the time, brother. It'll be super nice, and look up and there's a couple lines, and either typically, which is weird for us, we get really strong winds, like 20, 30 mile an hour winds, just out of the blue.
And this stuff doesn't go away, even in the wind.
Yeah. So it's a trip. So anything else going on?
Yeah, so busted tees, it is our slow time this time of year. E-com slows down, usually around the holidays is when things pick up. Coming up on our 4th of July event, that's a tremendous event. We have massive, massive sales during the 4th of July. We just got done with St. Patrick's Day. We had a decent turnout for that. But most of all, if you are having an event, we had somebody buy like 14 hats the other day, and they said, can't wait to get these for our, what do you call it? When they're having a wedding, the men's and women's parties.
Okay.
Right.
So bachelorette party. Yeah. So this guy bought 14 hats for all of his participants at the bachelor party. And that's awesome. They're all going to walk in with the same hat onto the bar and do all those things or wherever they're going. Right. So right.
If you have an event, we'd be happy to source that, those novelty things for that event.
Yeah.
So we also have a large bid out for a company in Montana that wants us to do all of their merch. So we do custom merch. If you need custom merch and a large amount of it, we can definitely help you with that. So bustedtees.com. Don't hesitate to reach out. You can email us at busted@bustedtees.com, and somebody will get back to you.
Perfect. I love that, man. So we have a golf group out here called the Desert Rats. Mm-hmm. There's about 50 of us out here, and Ken McCumber's wife, Mary, actually came out with a logo. So it's basically a rat in a Jordan-esque, how Jumpman is, right?
Yep.
So it's a rat like that with a golf club. So it's quite funny, but I know we're starting to put it, or the logo is starting to be put on apparel. Just to guys who have shirts, they take it up to our pro shop here. But we have a big event coming up in January. It's going to be an 80s theme party with like literally 80s videos. Radio Killed the Superstar, all that stuff that we watched on MTV back in the day.
So we have a whole 80s genre on bustedtees.com. So you can check out 80s and 90s genre. It's super crazy. So I can tell you, we got some numbers. Here. We have over 10,181 products available on the site, 645,826 SKUs.
That's amazing.
So it's not small, guys. Over 600,000 different available items. Yeah. We're on Amazon. We're on Shopify. We're bustedtees.com. We're everywhere. So, yeah, check us out.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're going to talk about today, right? I mean, we have all of this stuff out there is your mentor actually in business, or is a social media pretender? And one of the reasons why we started this podcast, 151 episodes being today, but 151 episodes today, we were always talking about either personal issues that we were going through or really business issues and how to help each other out. What am I missing here, and doing some stuff, which really led into, he did this a little bit beforehand, but it's becoming more and more prevalent, especially with these episodes. People are reaching out to him. Hey, I really like what you see. This is where I'm stuck at. How can you help me? And this is no kumbaya. Hey, I love you, man. Everything's going to be great. The onion gets peeled back.
It's an accountability coaching is what I offer. So if you don't want to be accountable, don't reach out to me. If you're not ready to move the needle, if you're not ready to make changes in your life, don't reach out to me. One of the things that came up, and I sent you this, is the song The Pretender by the Foo Fighters. The lyrics start out, keep you in the dark, you know they all pretend. Keep you in the dark, so it all began. That song really hits home with me. I love that song. I love the Foo Fighters. Speaking of the 90s. But Dave Grohl is still kicking, right? I mean, he's still out there. He's still doing some really, really good things for people. One of the best things I ever saw, speaking of leadership and mentorship, he brought this kid who had reached out to him on social media. He brought him up, a 10-year-old, up on stage and stuck him in the driver's seat of the drums and let this kid play the drums. He's done it a couple of times. There's a 13-year-old that gets to play lead guitar for him. He's just an incredible mentor. He's always trying to promote young kids in music, and he's lived a pretty good life. So back to your point, if your mentor or your coach isn't living the life that you want to lead, probably should get a new one.
Yeah. So, but you see that, so that's a good start right now. So is he living the life you want to lead? But what we're seeing on social media, I mean, now you can go and get a stage plane, or AI has been really good lately. And so like this, so what are some of the things you have to, the big thing right now? I've got some notes down here. How are you, people are coming to you and they're like, hey, I need a mentor. I've seen you for a little bit. What do you have to offer? What are you telling, like a differentiator? Like when I go on listing appointments, I have to differentiate myself from the other realtors. How are you coming across that? Because let's be right. If you guys aren't watching this, actually just stop and then go back and watch this on YouTube. Because again, I've been friends with you for 30 years. This is no disrespect, whatever. They look at you and like, who's this guy? He's not dressed up in a suit. He's not flying around in a plane. He's not driving Ferraris all over the place. Why should I use this guy? But I'm going to kind of let you show that. I'm going to say this because I've known you for so long. I've always called him since basically the first day that I met him. He's a quiet giant, right? He's always got silent but deadly, and he's got stuff. He's not flashy, he's showy. He's to the point. He feels that he doesn't need to show that stuff because of his knowledge. Can he have it? Absolutely. There's a lot of things that you could have that a lot of us can't have because you built it. But you love your life. You love teaching your kids. You love helping your wife. You love teaching all these people. And sometimes that flash, in my mind, overrides the real knowledge. Is that what you're seeing when you have people come to you?
Yeah, 100%. So my Ferrari isn't a Ferrari. It's $500,000 worth of Kubota farm equipment.
Right. Yeah.
I buy assets. So I buy stuff that makes me money. Do I have a bunch of hot rods? Yeah, I've got over 100 different vehicles. And I'm consistently, it is my addiction, I will tell you, 100%. Like that's something that really, I see something and it sparks my interest and I run after it wholeheartedly. I bought this Renault Dauphine. I don't know if you guys know what that kind of car is, but it's a French car. It's very small. It originally came with a 23 horsepower, 3-cylinder motor.
Wow.
But it's super cool looking. It's a 4-door car, and I bought it because a buddy of mine up in Portland did a Volkswagen conversion on it. Volkswagens is kind of my thing. So it's my stepdad's fault. He forced me to buy, my first car was a Volkswagen Bug that he forced me to buy. I'd actually bought a 57 Chevy and drove it home and killed every mosquito. The thing smoked, blew smoke out the back. It was horrible. It was a canary yellow car, 57 Bel Air, beautiful car. I worked all summer for it and I drove it home and I parked it in the driveway and he goes, "What's that piece of crap sitting in my driveway?" And I said, "That's my car." I was 10. So bear in mind, we live 10 miles from town, 9.5 miles out South Myrtle in Myrtle Creek, Oregon. And I had just mowed this guy's lawn, charged him $20 to mow his lawn. And I said, "Hey, if you ever want to sell that car." And he goes, "How much money have you made this summer, kid?" And I said, "I made $157. He goes, "I'll sell that car to you for $157.
Right on.
And I threw my lawnmower and all my gear in the back, and I drove that thing home. And my dad made me take it back.
Oh, really?
Yep. made me take it back, said I couldn't buy it. And he said, I've got a car for you that you're going to buy this weekend. So I was obviously upset,
Yeah.
not happy about it.
Right.
And he took me next door, and this guy had a 63 VW Bug, looked like a spotted dog. Every fender was a different color. And I was like, I don't even know where the motor is. Like, seriously, like I have no clue. Like, and I was mad. I didn't even touch that car for probably 4 or 5 months. And I was displeased with the whole situation. So, but a few years later, I picked my dad up at the airport, and we were driving home, and I was grabbing gears in this Bug, and I had a big motor in it, and I was grabbing gears in it. And I said, good thing you made me buy a Volkswagen for my first car, huh? Because they're safe. And we were running down the road at 120 miles an hour.
Way.
Yep.
That's awesome for a Bug, right? What year was it?
So that was a 69 Bug that I bought from a friend of mine, and it had a big motor in it and dual 48s, and I put a freeway flyer transmission in it, a drag transmission that I built. And yeah, it was a fast car. It was really fast. I used to actually drag race that car on the street. I used to street race back when I was a kid. Don't do that at home, kids.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, getting back into it, what differentiates me is that by the time I was 25, I was a multimillionaire. I owned 4 homes, 2 businesses, was starting a third. And my ex-wife came home one day and wanted a divorce. And so I went from being a multimillionaire one day, and 30 days later, I was dead broke and thinking about filing bankruptcy because she kept taking me back to court. And by the time I was 27, I was homeless and living in the back of my truck. I still have the Bug, and I still have the truck. I still have my first car.
Right.
And then, I'm not real big on showing all of my cards, so I'm not going to tell you what I'm worth today, but it's been an amazing ride. Yeah. And I can tell you that I've came from being homeless and nothing, all the way up to where I can support my family. I can support teams of employees all over the world. I can pretty much do anything I want. My daughter asked the other day if we could go to Target and get her some new clothes because some of her clothes are getting tight. She's 12, going to be 12 next week. And I have the ability to just go and spend whatever she needs. And to me, that's success. It's not success to own 14 businesses and a bunch of rentals and a bunch of cars and all those things. Success to me is when my kids come to me and they have a need and I can fill that need and I don't have to think about it.
So you said something today, or just a couple minutes ago, you said, I don't want to share what my net worth is. But then you have somebody come into your business coach, like, why would you not do that? Because I'm comparing you to this guy or this girl, whoever my business coach is going to be. And they let me know how much they're worth. And for you to be my mentor, I need to know that you have succeeded. And in my mind, again, this is just a fictitious question, right? In my mind, knowing someone's net worth puts it that they've made it. So why would you not share that when someone's coming to you and asking you, why should I pick you over somebody else?
If it's an important question to them, I'm happy to share it in private. But it's not something that I brag on. It's not something that I like to show. As you said, I dress. My wife says most days I look homeless. That's why she dresses. That's why she dresses me. She lays out my clothes every day, and I'm grateful for that. Today I switched it up. She had a shirt for me that she had laid out, and it was staticky, so I don't like static. So I switched it up. So I'm wearing tomorrow's shirt today because I didn't like the static on it. But yeah, generally speaking, I'm not a real flash in the pan kind of guy. I like my accolades and accomplishments to drive the bus for me. But I'm happy to share it on a one-to-one basis. And I'm happy to go down that road, happy to share with people some of the pitfalls, quite frankly, and the failures that I've had. There's been a lot of them. There's some every day, quite honestly. The biggest thing that I see, I've hired coaches And I fired a lot. I fired all of them, quite frankly. I was in mentorship in the same program that you were with the Arte Syndicate, and I got a lot out of it. And it's really helped me to push the needle. But ultimately, I fired Arte Syndicate because they weren't holding up their own core values. I live by a set of standards, by a code, and that should be something that you should look for in a mentor. I have multiple websites. I have multiple Facebook, Instagram. I have a Linktree Brent Wright. You can check out some of the things that I've done there. I don't post everything. I don't show everything that I do. Some of the biggest successes that I show is that post that I showed with my son and his dirt bike, with us working on it on Sunday, right? You know, if you want to have a successful life, I think that you need to figure out what that looks like and measure it against yourself every day. My successes are in my wife. The fact that my wife can choose to start a business and I didn't have to tell her no on anything. She had an open checkbook and she spent it. You know, when we got married and had our wedding, of course, I'm a very frugal individual and we had a budget and she was able to blow past that budget by over 10 grand. And did it hurt? Sure. Was I happy about it? No, but ultimately, I had the ability to provide her with whatever she needed for that wedding. It was a beautiful wedding. She did a great job with that. My wife has had to have multiple surgeries for her lymphedema, and I never had to worry about where the money came from. We could just write checks. We spent in excess of $150,000 on her surgeries, all not one bit of it paid by insurance. The only thing the insurance covered was her pain medication that she didn't take, by the way. And the rest of it was out of pocket. And I don't have to think about doing things like that. When my kids come to me and they have a direct need, and I'm not talking, I do spoil my kids a little bit. My wife came to me yesterday and said, hey, there's a good Christian singer that's coming to town and I want to get VIP tickets. Get them. That's success to me, is being able to offer my wife to have a business or stay home if she wants. She stayed home for 7 years. The first 7 years that the kids were kids, she stayed home the whole time and had the ability to stay home and buy whatever she needed for that and get whatever she needed. That's success to me. It's not all the stuff. Stuff is fleeting. It can come and it can go.
So a little bit of rewind there. And I have a question for you, because you're not showing it or not talking about really what your net worth is. To some people, that's important. Obviously, with these pretenders on social media, they're always talking about, I'm worth this much, I'm worth this much, I'm worth this much. Mm-hmm. But how, one of the questions I have written down here is, how much are you digging into that to see if it's for real?
Yeah.
Right. So you can take a yearly income, times it by 10, and that's what your net worth is. That could be just 1 year. Mm-hmm. Right. And so it's not a consistent number. But going back to, which I really appreciate you saying, is like, yeah, I don't need to share it. You can really check me out, kind of see what I do. Here's my portfolio of real estate. Here's bustedtees.com. Some days it does great. Sometimes it's not, but I have the opportunity to do that. I have put an extensive amount of, help finance, Right Wellness Center, body shops and detail shops have been going around. All these employees are going around with that. So that's how you're going to show it. That's how I'm going to show you my success. But do you not share your number for this reason? Feel that it will take which we talked about last week. Are you afraid that it feeds the ego too much, that I lose focus on what's actually important if I discuss that too much?
100%. There's a lot of things that I do that a lot of people don't do, and it's kind of coming to light now. Some people are starting to talk about it. I force myself to be broke every day. I don't keep money in my bank account, in certain accounts, and I keep a small amount of money in there. And I have what's called an outstanding checks and charges spreadsheet that my bookkeeper updates every day. She's updating it now. And there's no money in those accounts. And I do that on purpose because that's a mental or psychological trigger for me. Is I know my number when she updates that on what I got to earn today. And it keeps me driven, quite frankly. And so if you see negative numbers on a spreadsheet, what's the first thing that you do? You're like, holy crap, I got to go make some money.
Yeah.
And so I do that purposefully. When I'm coaching people, I tell them to keep all their money in a money market. And so it's earning interest. So that's a key piece. But don't keep a lot of money in their checking account. So that way they have this psychological driver every day to get out and hustle. For me, again, it's not about the stuff. I've had a ton of stuff and I've lost a ton of stuff. And anybody that you're looking at as a mentor or a coach that hasn't lost, you should question that. I have a friend of mine who is extremely wealthy. He makes my success look very, very, very small. He's probably worth $4 billion, billion with a B, kids. And he shows up in running shoes, sweatpants, and a t-shirt every day whenever I see him.
Oh.
Nondescript. He has 4 jets and he hates getting on them. He hates to fly. But he flies his team around all over the world. He rents them out. They're assets. Again, make sure that you are vetting these people because not all mentors are equal.
Do you feel that there's more pretenders, especially in this world, than there are actually real people?
Yeah, 100%. So April and I went to an Arate event 6 years ago now. And in that room were 1,500 people, 1,500 plus. I wore a t-shirt and jeans, slip-on shoes. And I'm not saying my way's right, guys. I'm just saying what I do. There were guys dressed in $5,000 Armani suits that was about all they were worth in the room. And I'm not judging them. I'm just saying that you got to truly dig deep and make sure that that person that is giving you advice is leading a life you want to lead.
How could they do that in this day and age? So again, it's really focusing on you because you're an example to a lot of guys that a lot of people should really actually peel back the onion on. Yeah, you can go ahead and you just said you can have the airplanes or pretend that you have the airplanes and lease out a car and do all this stuff or make a deal because you show the car, where'd you get the car? I got it this. And so there's always this spinning thing. But how are you, someone coming up to you and saying, hey, I want to do what you do. What is the first step that you take them through? What's the first thing that you take them to really show you, okay, if you want to be me, you actually ask them, do you know who I am? Have you done your research on me to really, you want to be me, but do you actually know who I am? You start with that, or is that somewhere later down the line when you're coaching?
Well, we usually start with where are you at now? Show me your life and I'll show you where your successes are and your failures are. Show me your consistency. Yesterday I was on the road by 5:25 in the morning. I'd already done my morning routine and I was on the road and I did almost 300 miles yesterday before 10 a.m. I came back to work. Most people would take the rest of the day off. I came back to work and I worked all day. And then I went to a men's fire night group and didn't get home until 9 o'clock. Show me your life. Let's evaluate it. Let's evaluate what your efforts and energies, where you're putting them, what your consistency's like. Are you taking care of yourself? We start out with personal care. You got to work out. You got to eat right. You don't have to do peptides. You don't have to do supplements, but I recommend them. What do you want to look like when you're 55? What do you want your bank account to look like? What do you want your health and fitness to look like? What do you want your mental aptitude to feel like or be like? What books are you reading? What coaching things are you doing now? I have one of my coaching clients that was looking for a new coach, not because he was going to quit me, because he was going to add to me, which, by the way, I'm all for. Most coaches say, come to me, and that's it. And then they're very protective. I want to envelop this person with a good attorney, a good accountant. If I'm not a good fit for their sales team, then they need a sales coach. If I'm not a good fit for their personal, then they might need a personal coach and I'll help them with their business or vice versa. I want to surround these people. You remember the Michelin Man? Mm-hmm. How he looks he's all protected, like he can go through anything and everything's good, right? That's what I want to envelop them in is a layer of protection around them that's going to help them become successful and a layer of people around them that are going to help them become successful. We've seen it 1,000 times. You get these kids that are sports savants, if you will, and they get a $20 million contract and they're broke. I mean, look at Shaq's story. Read Shaq's story if you ever want to go into it. You know, he got surrounded. He bought his whole family Rolls Royces, Ferraris, and Cadillacs and good stuff, and he was broke 30 days later after he got his first contract. What does this person have that you want?
I think there's a lot of stuff that we see today. Again, where's go? That's the topic today. Is your business mentor really in business, or is he a social media pretender? We see a lot of this really quick. Hey, I just do these couple of steps and I'm going to be great, but not understanding the sacrifices to what actually has to be done. And it's just not you give them like, listen, if I'm going to coach you, we have at least a year contract, a 6-month contract, a 3-year contract.
Yeah, one year contract. There's an onboarding document to evaluate where they're at and where they want to go. And then there's an accountability sheet every week that they need to turn in. And there are a list of questions that they have to go through every single week to try and move the needle. Some people do it, some people don't. The ones that don't either get terminated or they fire themselves. I had a coaching client that started last August, and by September, I fired him.
Yeah. And see that, I think that's better. First and foremost, you can go ahead and hire these guys. There's probably a lot of them that do like, hey, tell me what you want to do, what you want to try to accomplish and all that stuff. So they have that bio, right? So they have this little thing and they put that person in a box of like, okay, this is the way we're going to coach them. Mm-hmm. But what you just said, which is really important too, is having the accountability sheet. Because not only are they investing in you, but you're investing in them. And if they're not being held accountable to the things that they want to accomplish, then it's really not, it's wasting your time. It's not only wasting their time, but it's wasting your time as well. And so what type of conversations are you having with them? Is there a window of, hey, okay, you messed up this time, or like, hey,
I'm a 3 strikes person.
Okay.
Third strike, you're out, right? So you show up late for the meeting, strike 1. You don't fill out the accountability sheet, strike 2. You don't do the things you say you're going to do, strike 3. Right? If you're not, I have a no text policy. If any one of my coaching clients texts me, you're fired.
Why is that?
Take 5 minutes, sit down, craft an email, ask real questions that you want real answers to, and make an investment of time in yourself and into our relationship, and send me an email or make a phone call. Text is an easy out. If you're going to be late to the meeting, text is fine, right? I'm going to be 5 minutes late. Can you give me 5 minutes on the end? Yep, no problem. But if you really want an answer from me, you have to invest in yourself before you ask me to invest in you.
Has those conversations that you decided to cut bait with, or like, hey, this is not a fit because it's not following what we agreed to originally, have they turned into like FU conversations, like, who the hell are you firing me? I'm the one who hired you.
Oh yeah.
Right. How do you handle those situations?
I can read you.
Perfect question.
I can read you one of my responses. Greetings. I'm happy to cancel the contract with my following thoughts. I've never treated you poorly. I have tried to help you in the past and currently and will in the future if the chance presents itself. I'm personally hurt by your comparisons to some people and the feeling that this is a money grab. I've provided you with a massive amount of direction, wisdom, and added value. If you find you must belittle me as to not honor our written contract and our verbal agreements, that is on you, your heart, your head, and your honor. For the record, I was not holding back any connections. See, some of these people come to me because they just want my connections. I was going to reach out to this person first and see if it was a good fit, as he was changing some directions in his business the last time we spoke, as I stated in our call. Comparing our friendship, time spent together prior to coaching, and the current coaching to grok is unfair and horribly offensive, which I don't feel is deserved. This person took a personal jab at me, and I told him it wasn't called for. I said, you are better than this. As a friend, I asked you to reflect on your email and soul search for better treatment of others who have honestly had your back and tried to help you. Peace be with you.
Any response?
No response.
How long ago was that?
That was November 30th, 2025.
Wow.
And that was after their payment failed to pay me after 1 month. Now, everybody has financial trouble, but
Sure.
communication is the key.
And that's a good spot too, right? I mean, financial trouble too. A lot of people are coming to you when they're stuck. I mean, we watch Bar Rescue, which I know that's a lot of fabricated but you come to you like, hey, I'm struggling here. I've got to figure out how to fix to it. Are you willing to, when they come to you and they're going through financial help, are they willing to give up those things to make sure that there's enough funds to continue this for a year? Is that one of your questions? Like, hey, this is an investment.
Yep.
So this is where, and then looking at what their
it's part of
profit,
our it's part of our intake form. So you asked a question earlier about how do I vet a good coach? Look at their balance sheet. Ask for a copy of a redacted balance sheet. That I'm willing to share. I have 14 of. I have over 20 balance sheets for my properties. Happy to share those. Redacted, of course, but happy to share those. Does this person have a real balance sheet? Do they actually have a website? Do they actually have a Facebook following? Do they actually try and promote positivity? Or is it just a click funnel? Tell you a quick story. So had a coach that was asking me if I wanted to coach with them. Send me your details. So they sent me a redacted balance sheet. Perfect. That's a life I want to live. Their balance sheet looked good. All right, send me the information. I need to see what your coaching style looks like. And I want to see some of the items that you're going to offer me. They have a website that you can log into, and you can go in and look at all their other prior coaching sessions, and there's a ton of documents on there. There's over 2,000 documents in their deal. Perfect. Happy to look at it. Got to log in, looked at it, everything's all good. First thing they sent me was a click funnel. Put all your information in here, send payment. Okay. Happy to do it. Send payment. When's our first coaching session? Crickets.
Really?
I'll have somebody reach out to you and onboard you. The onboarding was with a guy who was driving down the road on a Zoom call, phone in his holder, and he was yelling and cursing at drivers while he was driving in Dallas, Texas.
Gotta be kidding.
There was no onboarding. His onboarding guy was not living the life that I wanted to live. So I asked for a refund. I'm not going to go to any of your coaching, not interested. He sends me a text message, not an email. We talked about this earlier. Sends me a text message. Happy to refund you 50%. Well, what did you give me for my 50% was my question. Crickets. Perfect. I'll just reach out to my credit card and tell them that I was fraudulently charged. Sent me a text about this long, cursing at me and calling me names because he fraudulently took advantage of me and didn't give me what he promised to give me. That's when I decided to become a coach. That's when I decided to do it with an NDA, which everybody has to sign, by the way. I sign one for you, you sign one for me. Now I can share with you my net worth after you do the onboarding doc and I make sure that it's a good fit. There are people that listen to us that have reached out to me and have refused to sign the NDA. There are people that listen to us and have reached out to me for coaching, and I've sent them the onboarding doc. They haven't filled it out. I stop at that point and back away. I want to make sure it's a good fit, not only for them, but for me. My time is valuable. Time I'm giving to you is time I'm taking away from my family. Time I'm giving to you is time I'm taking away from my businesses. I'm not in business to be a coach. Coaching is a value add. It's a value add for me and it's a value add for you.
What do you say about the guys like, hey, you need to sign up today. We only have 5 spots left.
Well, now you still have 5 spots.
Because you see those pressure text next, like, hey, we're giving you this special deal. There's only 5 of these spots available. Sign up today, and instead of $1,000, you can get it for $500. But only 5 spots left, and they put that on social media. Obviously, there's going to be more than five of those people signing up for $1,000. And go back to what you went through, right? Somebody will be in touch with you for your onboarding process. And these guys think that, and a lot of guys will think, especially the younger ones, will think, oh my God, I somehow made it into the number 5. I can't believe that with all these people that follow this guy. How did I get to become one of the 5?
Yeah. You're not one of 5. You're one of 500 or 5,000, right? It's very predatory. It's flash over function. It's vague, repeatable language, no verifiable track record. Like you said, urgency and pressure tactics. You sent me these notes, and I agree with these wholeheartedly. Signs of a real business mentor. They've actually built something. They have real companies, real employees, real problems that they've solved. They talk specifics, numbers, margins, mistakes, not just wins, but losses and lessons. They can explain how and why, not just what. Their money isn't dependent upon you. You heard me say it before. My coaching is not a business. It's a value add to my business. It's a value add to your business. Coaching is a branch, not a trunk. That's what I was talking about before. I agree with that wholeheartedly. They'd still be successful without selling you coaching. The money that I charge for coaching is very, very small. Very small. I give 4 hours a month for anywhere between $600 and $1,500 a month.
So when you see these guys, okay, let's stop there for a second. But it is actually very economical when you talk about that. It's inexpensive in the grand scheme of things. So how are these guys charging $5,000, $10,000 a month for the same thing?
Well, they're not. It's not one-on-one coaching. You get on a coaching call, and it's them talking and promoting themselves further and not helping you. I don't see how they can charge $5,000 a month. They're not moving the needle for anybody but themselves. One of my prior coaches has a Lamborghini, bought the Lamborghini with his coaching money, and he does that style where he gets on and he talks for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. He's always late. He's been up to 30 minutes late to a coaching call before. I sent him an email, no response. Sent him a text message, no response. Sent him a Facebook message, no response. Sent him an Instagram message. Finally got a response. And it was adversarial at best. He was upset that I was questioning his ability to coach and his ability to help further my life. Now, hear me, guys. I've bought and paid for coaches and gotten scammed. I can tell you what a scam is because I've been on the receiving end of that. Do I believe that I should be coached? For sure. If your coach doesn't have a coach, red flag. But no different than somebody who reaches out to me. They're not asking for coaching. They're asking for hope. They're asking for solutions. They're drawn to shortcuts, and anybody who wants a shortcut, I won't coach.
No easy button, right?
There's no easy button. So one of your notes was a key perspective shift that I completely agree with. This goes back to what you said earlier. Stop asking how much money do they make. Start asking how do they make it? Would I want to build that kind of business? If they're just a coach, that's their only business, red flag. If every business they've built has ended up in ashes, red flag. If their marriage is in shambles, big red flag. If their personal health is in shambles, big red flag. Now, I'm not the buffest dude in the world, but if I wasn't wearing an oversized shirt, I have 14% body fat, kids. I've done everything that I can to promote my health and well-being. I've taken a massive amount of peptides, supplements. One of the guys that I coach pro bono, by the way, I coach about 20 people pro bono. Don't charge a dime. One of the guys that I coach in his health and wellness journey has lost over 150 pounds. He says he's finally down to his fighting weight. Before he was in his couch sitting weight, and I did that for free. He did the work. I don't want to tell you that it didn't take work. It was a lot of effort, energy on his part. I can't help you with that. If you're not willing to put the help to help yourself with the energy part, I can't help you with that. What I can do is tell you what to do and what not to do. He brought in a box, probably 12 by 18 box full of supplements that he was taking. And we pared that down to just things that he needs based upon his blood test. Now, bear in mind, I'm not a doctor, but I can tell you what works and what doesn't because it's worked for me. And we got him to a spot where he has energy. He can solve problems for others because he solved his problems himself first.
Oh, what's that thing that Ed says all the time? You're best equipped. Oh my gosh, I can't remember right now. You're the bottom line. You're the best teacher because of the teacher you were before, what you've become, or something like that. What you were before allows you to become the best teacher, or something like that. So you see, it was one thing that you said that. I mean, I'm glad you talked about this. We're going to wrap this up real quick, but I start seeing a lot of this too on social media. These guys that are really, doing sales tactics, and they're yoked, right? I mean, they're walking around with their shirt cut off. Look at me. I've got all this great body. And it's like, it's kind of like this alpha male coming through there. So their intentions may be great, and I understand that, but when so much flash, I start to question, like, why is it so important for you to walk around with your shirt off? I mean, I get that's what you need to do. It's for a mental aspect. It's keeping yourself healthy. You're eating well. Obviously, you're doing all everything. But at the end of the day, is that really solving my problem? To me, looking at it, I work out every day. Can I be better working out? Most likely. Could I eat better? Absolutely, 100%. All those different things. At the end of the day is what does your workout help me with becoming a better business person? It's a part of it. I get that. It's a part of it, being healthy. I understand that 100%. But to base that on, look at me, I can help your business get better. That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, and some of the notes that you sent over really, they're landing with me hard. Two of them, especially. A real mentor gives you tools, a fake one sells you dependency. So I tell people the first thing that I'm going to try to do is get you to a point where you want to fire me. Not because I'm not helping you move the needle, but because I've gotten you to a spot where you don't actually need me. Now, bear in mind, I still have some coaching clients that have been with me for 4 years. I evaluate every 6 months with them whether or not I'm a good fit. And I evaluate every 6 months with them if they still want to continue on with coaching and they're still finding value in it. They said to me, we did our evaluation about 3 or 4 months ago. At the first of the year, end of the year, first of the year, I said, do you guys still want to continue into 2026? Yes. Tell me why. They told me their reason. And the husband looked at me point blank and he goes, why are you always trying to fire us? I said, I'm not trying to fire you. I'm trying to fire me. I want to get you to a spot where you don't need me. You may want me to still help you, but you don't need me to still help you. I want to equip you and empower you to be able to make business decisions, life decisions, and the like by yourself. But if you want me, I'm here to help. In summary of this, if your mentor disappeared tomorrow, would your business still grow or collapse? If your mentor disappeared tomorrow, would their business still grow or would it collapse?
Really, really good stuff today. I know, again, for a lot of you guys who followed us for so many months and almost years. Well, we're in multiple years now. And this was a really good peel back of how Brent works some stuff. I'm not saying that he's the ultimate person for you, but it's a really good time to peel back the onion and ask him some questions and allow him to ask some questions about you too. A lot of these guys are not going to do what he does, is really find out who you are, where you want to go, and do that stuff. And it's said to a lot of pretenders out there, a lot of predatory mentors out there are just willing to get your money. And maybe their attitude is like, hey, if you don't put in the work, that's on you. Realistically, it's a two-way, just like any other relationship. It is a two-way working schedule on there. Brent's going to work on getting better to help you get better, and you have to work on getting better to help him get better. It's very a symbiotic relationship if you really look at it. The better you get, the better he gets, and vice versa on there. And, you said something right at the end too, which I always say to all the people that join our team is like, my whole purpose of you having on this team is for you to be better than me. And you said it in different words. I would love for them to go like, hey man, it was awesome. I just feel right now, thank you for all your work that you helped me get to a certain spot. It's time for me to move on. Or take what we've taught them and then open it up another Team Armstrong franchise somewhere in the United States, whatever that may be. but teaching them to the skills of how to bring people on board, of how to coach them and how to talk to different people is really just constantly. We talk about all this, what is to engage, equip, and empower, and get those guys on the road. So some good stuff, man. Thank you for letting me peel back your onion today.
Yeah, no worries. I got one last thing for
All
you.
right.
So I've heard this said many different ways, but today when I heard this, it landed with me. Have you ever seen an eagle flying?
Yeah.
And where are they usually flying? They're usually flying a lot higher than the other birds, right? Eagles only fly side by side with other eagles. Eagles don't fly side by side with pigeons, with ducks, with geese. Eagles fly at the top. They fly at such a high level that only private jets fly at.
Let that marinate on your brain for a little bit.
Yep.
All right, brother.
And my goal is to just go out and make a damn difference. I say it every week, but I truly believe it. If what you're doing isn't making a difference in your life or the lives of others, please reach out. Happy to give you a 1-hour call, free of charge. Make sure it's a good fit. Have you fill out the onboarding doc. If it's not a good fit, I'll tell you.
Got to be real. You can't help everyone, right? It's not a fit for everyone. That's fine.
No.
So thank you again, man. Thank you for being so transparent today, and we're out there. So again, guys, if you've kind of been down that road, maybe you've burned a couple of times with some mentors. Again, we have a good track record here. There's 150 other episodes you can really watch to see if something resonates with you. I promise you, you will. So, but if you have been burned, doesn't mean that you can't go back and start asking some more questions, because there's always a missing piece of the puzzle. And we feel like we have it here. And as Brent said, he's not a fit for you. Most likely he has a fit for you someplace else, and he will gladly turn you to those people. So it's definitely not a money grab for him. It's either going to be a fit or not for a fit. If it's not for a fit, he'll tell you where else to go. So that's it for this week, guys. I know this is maybe a little bit more somber, but I think there's some reality that needs to be had on there. As I said, I think the big thing, which I'm seeing a lot, I'm sure a lot of you are watching or listening to this, is that way too. Is like, I just don't trust anybody. Well, here's our track record, 150 other episodes besides this one and 151 today. Check us out. And if there's any way that we can help you, reach out to us. It's super simple. Just leave us a message. Until we see each other next week, guys, stay safe, but most of all, God bless. Take care.